Today I'm going to show you the easy way to start a podcast, and then I'm going to show you how you can get it on iTunes, Google Play and Spotify, all for free after this. Hey everybody, welcome to ProfitCopilot.com. My name is MICK, MEANEY, and this is all about helping you to get better results online. So today I'm going to show you how you can start a podcast, and I've made this so simple that anyone can do it. So no matter what kind of experience you have, maybe you have absolutely no experience, that's fine. By the end of this, you're going to be able to start your own podcast and reach more people and get your content out there and grow a larger audience. So I'm going to show you how you can start a podcast for free. We're not going to do any tech stuff, so there's no software to learn. You don't have to pay any hosting fees, and you've probably already got everything you need to get started. And on top of all that, I'll show you how you can get your podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and a few other really high traffic podcast directories. So before we get into it, just to prove that this stuff works and podcasting is a good idea for your business, I'm going to show you some of the stats of my own podcast growth. Now, they're not setting the world on fire, they're nothing to really write home about, but it shows the process and it shows how the growth happens when you are consistent with your podcast. So I'm going to show you my organic growth. So let's have a look at Libsyn. I'm using Libsyn for this, but you don't have to. I'm going to show you an alternative, a free alternative that you can use. And in fact, it might even be better than Libsyn. And I'm giving serious consideration to moving over to this new platform. Anyway, let's have a look. So we start with the first week of February, which has got less than 20 listeners, and it peaks at 50 and then it dips back down again. But March starts with 116 listeners in that week, peaks at 154 and then it dips down again. But interestingly, April starts with 99 listeners in that week and then it ends with 205. So we can see how it's growing. So February starts with less than 20 listeners, April ends with 205. So some weeks the numbers are up, some weeks the numbers are down, and that's okay, because over time everything is moving in the right direction. It's steadily increasing over time. Now if we take a step back and we zoom out and take a look at the bigger picture, we can see that there's consistent growth every month. So look at this. January has 57 listeners all month. February has 106. March has 447 all month. And April has almost 700 for the month. So in those 4 months, we go from around 50 listeners in a month to almost 700. And that is going to continue growing. So this is the compounding nature of content marketing. So let me make it really clear, okay? This is organic growth. So this traffic is mainly coming through the podcast directories as people search for the topic and problems that they need help with. My content will appear in those directories. So I'm not paying to advertise. I'm not even promoting this stuff to my email list. I'm putting the podcast on my website, but it has to compete with my videos and it has to compete with my blog posts too. So most of the traffic I'm receiving to the podcasts are coming from the actual podcast directories themselves. You see, I'm pretty lazy when it comes to promotion. That means even with the minimal amount of promotion, you can do this too. So doing practically no promotion, you can grow your audience consistently over time if you follow a few basic rules, which I'll get into in a few minutes. So just imagine what kind of results you could be seeing if you put in just a bit more effort than I'm putting in. So you do have to be consistent and you have to be of service to your niche. Those are the two main points. I'll give you some more tips in a second, but how do you set up a podcast for free? I'm going to assume that you don't want to spend money on hosting, not yet anyway. I'm going to assume that you just dipping your toe into the water for the first time and you're not sure if this is for you or not. So I've got the perfect solution. We're going to use a website called anchor.fm, and they actually have an app too, so you can make podcasts on your phone if you want to. So let's head over to anchor.fm right now and let's go ahead and sign up. So the first thing that you need to do is decide on a name for your podcast. I would encourage you to make it something descriptive that says what you're all about, and then give it a brief description and choose your category. Once you're all set up with an account, you can then record your podcast directly on the app. How cool is that? So we don't need any software or any tech stuff to do this. If you don't want to record your podcast directly on the app, maybe you've recorded it elsewhere, you can upload that too, just like I'm doing with mine. So I made one yesterday, and then we give it a title and a description. Remember to SEO your title and SEO your description. This is how people are going to find you. So be aware of the keywords that you use. A little bit of keyword research wouldn't do any harm. I've made other videos, podcasts, and blog posts about keyword research. Get them on ProfitCopilot.com or on the YouTube channel. So once you hit publish, this software will then let you distribute the podcast to iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and a few other directories. How awesome is that? And then your podcast is live. Wasn't that an easy process? See, anyone can do this stuff. So we can get fancy later on if we want to. We can add transitions and bumpers and all that stuff later on. But the important thing is to start. I don't want to give you too much information to overwhelm you in this today. So I want you to just get cracking with this, upload your first podcast, try it out, see what happens. Remember, no one's going to hear it for ages anyway, so it's okay to make mistakes. It doesn't have to be perfect. The important thing is to get started right now, get cracking, because it's going to take you a few months to get some traction anyway. Unless, of course, you're planning to advertise large scale and you have a budget to do that. So this is certainly enough to get you started today. Now I'm going to give you some tips that I mentioned earlier. So first of all, choose a topic that you feel passionate about. This is really important because when you choose a topic that you feel passionate about, it will resonate with your audience. They'll be able to tell how you feel about it, how special that topic is to you. They'll be able to feel your passion and you'll be able to engage them and really cut through all the noise of everyone else in that niche who is doing it just for the monetary aspect. So have a topic that you're passionate about. Then research before you hit record. So take the time to really cover the different angles about your topic. Take down some notes, open up Evernote or Word or Notepad, whatever, and just write down some notes so you have some kind of structure of the things that you want to talk about. I do exactly that. I have Evernote open in front of me on the computer there. So if I get stuck, I get lost of where I'm at, I can just see my notes. And that kind of keeps me on topic and keeps me focused so I don't divert too far outside the realms of what I want to talk about. Also, another tip, choose a schedule and stick to it. You have to be consistent. So if you're going to upload every week, make sure that it's the same day every week. If you're going to upload every day, upload it around the same time every day. Make it consistent. Let me say, the more you upload, the more content you put out there, the faster you will grow. So if you're uploading every week, you can expect, typically, you would expect a slower growth than if you are uploading every day. Me personally, I try to upload at least 3 times a week. Sometimes I hit that, sometimes I don't. But hopefully my audience knows that they can expect fresh content from me on a very frequent and regular basis. So another tip I've got for you is to forget the stats. Ignore them at least for a little while. I'd say spend a couple of months just focusing on creating content, being of service to your niche, and don't worry about what's working and what's not working, because let's be honest, most things will appear like it's not working, at least for a while. So just focus on churning out awesome content, the kind of things that would be of benefit to you if you were starting out in that niche all over again. Just ignore the stats, because if you focus on how many listeners you're getting early on, you're just going to feel lousy. I know what it feels like, because when I first started podcasting and creating content, I'd look at the stats and I'd feel like giving up, because so few people were interested. And I still have days, like frequently, maybe once a week, where I still feel like that. And when I feel like that, I just ignore the stats. I don't look at them until I start to feel good about things again. So ignore the stats. They'll kind of mess with your head a little bit. And then when you've been going for a few months, have a look, see what kind of content is popular among your audience, and then do more of that. And the last tip I've got for you is to be yourself. Just be natural. Imagine that you're talking to a really good friend, and then the best version of you will come forward for your audience. Now, when it comes to shooting videos and doing podcasting and that kind of stuff, I'm here on my own. There's no one else but you and me, and that gives me the freedom to really be myself. So if there was 2 more people here in the room, I would be like completely introverted, but because I'm just imagining that I'm talking to one really good friend, and that's how I view my audience. I view my audience as the people that I would naturally be friends with anyway, because we have this shared interest, we have this shared mission, so we would naturally be friends anyway. So that allows me to really become my natural self, the real me, with you. So when you pick up your phone or the microphone to make your podcast, just imagine talking to your best friend, and if you were explaining things to them. That's about it. So if you want more of this kind of stuff about podcasting, let me know, okay? And I will run you through all the equipment that I use. You don't really need much. You can actually start with your phone. That's good enough to get up and running with. The important thing is to start. So if you want more information, I'll show you more step-by-step stuff, how I create my own podcasts, how I find content, the little tricks of the trade that I've picked up. Just let me know if that's something that would benefit you. Either leave a comment below this, send me an email, mick@profitcopilot.com, post a comment on the blog. Just let me know if you want more of this stuff, and I will certainly make that content for you, and I will help you to take the next step forward in your podcasting journey. So the important thing that you need to know today is to start. Just get up and running. Don't worry about making it sound glossy and all that stuff. That will come in time. The important thing is to deliver value to your audience, to your future audience, and to your niche. So you can do this. I've just given you a really good strategy how anyone can get up and running with their own podcast, literally within minutes. So thank you for checking this out. I hope you found it useful. If you have, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel too. It will be awesome to have you here, because I think you and I will get on really well. So thank you for checking this out. I hope you found it immensely useful, and I will see you again tomorrow. Take care.